Hello, sixth graders. It's Mr. Gardell. How are you on this fabulous day? As you can probably tell, I'm a little nasally congested right now. Yes, I know. Oh my goodness. So I apologize that you're gonna have to listen to this throughout the entire video. Today we're gonna start with a joke. Yes, another hilarious joke by Mr. Gardell. Here is the joke.
What did the ocean say to the beach? What did the ocean say to the beach? Your 5 seconds to think of an answer starts now. Time is up. So, what did the ocean say to the beach? Nothing. It just waved. Hilarious, I know. Hilarious, I know. Come on, you have to admit, you smiled at least a little bit, maybe even chuckled. All right, let's get back to social studies. So, really, today's video for social studies is focusing on an infographic. You're probably thinking in your head, I don't know what an infographic is. Well, that's why you're watching the video to learn. But before I talk at all about that project, I want to focus on what you completed earlier in the week. Earlier in the week, you should have completed your 3 branches of Minnesota's government notes, and your notes would obviously be more filled in than what you're seeing right now. And your goal was to have 4 bullet points of information on the executive branch, 4 bullet points of information on the judicial branch, and of course, bullet points of information on the legislative branch. And if you had more, great. The more information you have, the better, because you're going to utilize these notes to create an infographic. Okay. So if you need or have any questions for me about one or more of these branches, today's a good day to contact me. Okay. Because your infographic is actually due tomorrow. Yes, we are starting the project on Thursday, April 29th, and it is due on Friday, April 30th by 2 p.m. Here it is. Oh, let me throw one more wrinkle into everything. This is a collaboration project. If I just highlight number 3, if I can't, I do that, that's okay. But if I just highlight number 3, it's going to do the same thing it always keeps doing to me. Sorry, I won't highlight it anymore. But you'll notice right here it says in parentheses, collaboration project. So what does collaboration mean? Collaboration means that you are completing this project with at least one other person. So how many people total can I have in my group? 3. What's the least number I can have in my group? 2. Otherwise, it wouldn't be a collaboration project. So you are going to have to decide who you want to complete this infographic with. Now, by the time you hear this video, we will have already earlier in the week in our class Zoom talked about forming groups for this collaboration project. So hopefully by now you have already figured out who you're going to work with and have already communicated with them, whether it be through email, through Schoology messaging, and figured out a plan on how you're going to collaborate with one another to complete this infographic. Okay. Now, by now, you will have also seen this. This was our sign up or is our sign up sheet. And basically, I will share this or will have shared this with you by the time you watch this video, where you will then sign up. And notice how it just says for you to include your first full name and then the initial of your last name. That way I just know the groups. But hopefully by now you have already figured that out. Now, for those of you that are like, I don't know what I'm doing, then you need to connect with me so that I can connect with other students in our class, so that other peers of yours, so that you can collaborate with them on this project. Okay. Because if you don't communicate with me, I'm going to ultimately just put a group together of those of you who have not communicated with me or with others in your class to form a group. And I'll just send you a message saying, here's your group, go work with them and complete the infographic. Okay. So let's go back to, let's go back to the week of April 26th through April 30th. So right now you're watching the video. I will discuss what the infographic project is, but I just want to reinforce that this infographic is due to me by 2 p.m. on Friday, April 30th. All right, let's take a peek at what an infographic is, because some of you might be asking yourself that right now. So an infographic is a chart, diagram, and or illustration that uses graphic elements to present information in a visually striking way. And again, you can see where the due date is, April 30th by 2 p.m. So what exactly am I doing, Mr. Gardell? So you're going to create an infographic on the 3 branches of Minnesota's government using one Google slide with a partner. Now, earlier you heard me say, well, you said we could work with two other people in our HOA class. Yes, that is true. So again, groups are either two or three, not four, not one. Okay, two or three in your group. Your infographic must include a title. Now, your title can be as boring as three branches of Minnesota's government, or you and your group members can come up with a more creative title. You must include a minimum of 4 pieces of information about each of these three branches of Minnesota's government. We'll talk about those 4 pieces down here below, and at least one graphic for each branch of government. Now, I will advise you, I would strongly encourage you to add more than just one graphic for each branch of government. Okay, so what must be included within my infographic? For the executive branch, you must include governor, veto, main duties, and enforcer of law. That has to be included, okay, for the executive branch. Can you add more? Of course. For the judicial branch, you must include Minnesota Supreme Court, interpreters of law, court, and judge. Can you add more? Of course you can. And for the legislative branch, you need state legislature, House of Representatives, Senate, and makers of law. Can you have more? Of course you can. Okay, so that is the minimum requirements as far as what you must include within your infographic from a content standpoint. And we'll talk more about content in a moment. So, from a grading rubric standpoint, each branch of government is worth 5 points. There are 3 branches of government in Minnesota, so 5 times 3 is add 1, carry to 3, divided by 4, add 2. I get 15. Quick mental math. Yep, sharp. All right. So, when thinking about the grading rubric for the infographic, I want you to think about 4 C's. The first C is content. Okay. That's this information. The content is what you must include for each branch of government. In other words, if you think about the executive branch, again, did you bring up governor? Okay, because remember, the governor is really the leader of the executive branch. Did you bring up veto, main duties, enforcer of law? Okay, in other words, did you include all of this information? And you'll need to do the same thing for the judicial and legislative branches, obviously. So, 2 of the 5 points for each branch of government comes from content. Connections. Do you connect the 3 branches of government to each other? For example, think of a bill or a proposed law. Which branch creates the bill? Which branch may sign the bill? Which branch determines if a bill or proposed law is constitutional? In other words, does it make sense? Do you have some form of connection between each of the branches? Because they do have to work together in order for a law to be passed on to Minnesotans or for you and I. That connection piece is worth 1 point for each branch of government. The last part is color and creativity. Are your visuals or images or graphics presented in color? Don't find black and white images or graphics. Find color. And is your infographic creative and original? In other words, okay, your group decides what your infographic looks like in the end, not Google. Let me repeat that. Your group decides what your infographic will look like, not Google. Okay, so for each branch, that's worth 2 points. Again, 5 points times 3 is 15 total points for this project, collaborative project. Here's a few examples of infographics that I found online. Now, this one is about good visuals and how humans do enjoy seeing good visuals. Okay, you're probably like me. Okay, I'm a more visual learner than I am an auditory or hearing learner. So really when I learn best by seeing visuals. And this tells me some information about how humans love good visuals. The next infographic is specifically about the top 5 most popular gifts given in the world. You'll notice that in the middle, there's a globe of Earth, and notice the hands crossing over it. That's the connection piece. Okay, so think about ideas like you may want to incorporate something like that in your infographic on the 3 branches of government. But then on the outside, I can see what those 5 most popular gifts are. And I think the visuals are outstanding because it really stands out to me. This infographic, what the 5 most popular gifts are given throughout the entire world. Another infographic is on extreme sports. That would be the title of this infographic, and then you can see all the different extreme sports. I personally think, from a visual perspective, from a graphic perspective, this infographic does a really good job. I do think it's a little wordy. Okay. And if I scroll back, when we talk about content, make certain, if I didn't state this already, I apologize, make certain that you only have 1 to 2 complete sentences as a description of each branch. Okay. We're not looking for 3, 4, 5, 10 sentences of descriptions for each of these 3 branches of government. 1 to 2, okay, complete sentences, make it brief and move on and make it more graphic orientated. Now, if you would prefer to go a different route and your content was more bullet pointed, I would accept that as well. Just make sure that it's clear to who's grading it, okay, that you understand, that I understand what you're trying to get across with regards to your content. And really, when you think about your infographic, I want you to think about your infographic from the standpoint of, if you were to hand your infographic to someone else, someone that doesn't know about Minnesota's 3 branches of government, would they be able to take your infographic, read through your written information, look at your graphics, and go, yep, I now understand the 3 branches of Minnesota's government, because that's ultimately your goal. All right, the last example of an infographic is water use around the world. It's just set up in a different way. It's basically into more of like, 4 different sections talking about the average use of water in 4 various countries throughout the world. So those are just some examples. You, of course, can look up additional examples on Google if you'd like, but start thinking about, as a group, what are you, or what is your infographic going to look like? And then just make sure that once you determine what it looks like, make sure you divide and conquer what you're going to do. And you can complete it all together at once, and I'll show you how that works. But at the same time, just make sure each person does have an equal role in what you're doing, and so that all of you are completing it, okay, and putting forth your effort and time equally, rather than just one person doing it and the other 2 taking credit for it. So, a couple of things that I want to pass along to you so that you understand how to complete this. First of all, if I open up just any Google slide, and you're not going to be doing this, by the way, I just want to show you something really quick, because I won't be able to in a moment, is the 2 main things you're going to want to use when creating your infographic is to use the word insert, or is to click on insert and image search, image search from web, and insert text box. Okay. The other thing that I would encourage you to do is, when you click on share, okay, I'm not going to say this, but once you share it with, there we go, share it with your group member or group members, and then you can all work on it together at the same time or at various times throughout the day. The last thing that I want to mention is this, is when you discuss with your group members, okay, that you're going to start working on it, how you get to it, okay, the infographic is this way. The first thing you're going to do is click on Thursday, April 29th, because in letter B, it states complete infographic on Minnesota's 3 branches of government and Schoology. Once I click on that date, then you'll notice there's an infographic PDF that includes directions, the rubric, and infographic examples. I already just went through that with you in this video, so you don't need to do that again. But if you want to go back to reference anything, you can always look back to it. But you're going to click on infographic on the 3 branches of Minnesota's government, and then in parentheses, complete and turn in here. So you're going to click on that. Then you're going to be able to see, first of all, this infographic in assignment form. That's why that's highlighted, and you can see the rubric. But you're going to click on My Document. Once you click on My Document, okay, then you're going to come across something that looks exactly like this. Now, if it's you logging in to Schoology and getting to this point, your name's going to appear right here, okay? What you will need to do is add your group member or members' names in here as well, okay? And then again, don't forget to share this document, okay, this Google slide, with your group member or group members. Here again is insert, and then you ultimately just have a blank Google slide Remember, you get one Google slide only. You will put all the information on here that's required for your infographic on the three branches of Minnesota's government. Once you and your group members had looked it over and checked off the checklist of everything that needed to be included in this infographic, then you simply click submit assignment. And once I receive it, I will see your name and your group members' names when I open up this Google slide. And then what I'll do is once it's graded, I'll go into Schoology and just manually enter the score that you and your group members earned. Okay. So each of you doesn't need to send me a separate copy of your infographic. One person in your group, okay, needs to kind of be the master copy person of this infographic and simply submit it to me. But again, make sure you and your group members equally share the responsibilities of completing this infographic project. Whew, lots of information. All right. As always, if you have any questions, sixth graders, please contact me anytime. Take care and have a fabulous day.